Hello and welcome to my podcast, The Melancholy Guy Talks. And right now, I'm talking about recovery, living with addiction. In this podcast, I'm sharing my journey through life while being an open, polyamorous African American male living in recovery. I am the Melancholy Guy, Calvin, or CPJR if you know me. And today, I definitely believe that change I must or die I will. To learn more about the Melancholy Guy, go to Instagram and click the link in the bio. Also, with a donation of just $1, you can have access to my first series on ethical non-monogamy, the fun stuff that started my podcast journey. See my Patreon page for more info, links in the show notes. So, let's talk. Today is, oh my goodness, I don't know the date. I'm on a new format, so let me look this date up. Today's going to be 3/19/2020, and it will be 61 days since I last picked up my drug of choice. I celebrated 60 days. Yay for me. Today's episode is my first 90 days, part 6.5, episode 50. 51. Nope, still 50. I will have a weekly topic that will be aired in 15-minute increments. One released on Sunday and the second half released on Thursday. So be sure to tune in for both. Welcome back to my podcast for those that have listened regularly, and welcome to those listening for the first time. As you see, I'm trying to do a new format. So it was a little tricky in the introduction, but you know. It's a podcast, so we work it out as we go. So last week on Sunday, I was talking about limiting social engagements because I'm talking about my or anyone's recovery in the first 90 days, and that's where I am on day 61. And today, I want to talk about. Don't rush back to work. Hopefully, if you had to stop work because of your addiction, you got a chance to go to recovery. I really recommend recovery. I've been in inpatient recovery like once, and some intensive. It's what they call intensive outpatient or IOP. I've been to that like 2 or 3 times. Okay, so here it is, right? Me in recovery. For some reason, I'm hard-headed, and it took me a long time to really figure out where recovery was. I spent a lot of money going into inpatient recovery or intensive outpatient recovery, and for some reason, what they were saying to me about recovery didn't make sense. All I really could hear was just stop using drugs, and your life will get better, which is true, but for some reason, it didn't get to me about how my life was, fucked up and nothing worked. I couldn't catch on to what that was about. And it took really me going through whatever I had to go through and going through a lot of different relationships and kept losing things and nothing kept making sense as to, the drugs. That's just the beginning of what's going on. That's just the tip of the iceberg, a symptom of the real problem. And the real problem, which is me. So if you can get a chance to go through inpatient recovery or intensive outpatient recovery with that, it can be very helpful because therapy is helpful. You can start to talk about what's really going on with you. Like I've been talking about Russell Brand's, the 5, what is it? A 5-point guide to the cycle of addiction. What's causing that pain to bring you back to wanting to fill it up with something. Use a drug or a substance to make you feel better, because that's basically what we're doing. We're using something to feel better, and one way to make sure you always feel desirable ways to use a substance, right? A drug. So if you have time to. If you could take time off of work or take some time to go to any type of therapy that's more than just once or twice a month, that's really focused on substance abuse, it's great to take it and then really try to think about what's going on in your life for real. And sometimes what's going on in your life is going to be difficult to face, right? Because you've been using drugs for a long time. That's been my life, right? Or what's been keeping me really. And I'm gonna come back to exactly what I need to get to on this, but because I built a life, right? I built a life while I was on drugs. When I was on drugs, I wasn't in the street, right? I was working, right? I had a job. I had a good job. I had a career. I was making enough money to support myself, and then working with my wife, I was able to support a lifestyle, start a business, all this stuff that looked great on the outside, and it seemed like I had everything that I needed at that given time to be happy. But I was using, I was addicted to something, and I was using something that kept taking or causing my life to go out of control. But it seemed like I can always grab it back under control under the right circumstances. So when I was going to inpatient recovery or intensive outpatient recovery, I'm just dealing on, I just need to stop this use of this drug or this substance and just get back to my life. Never once did I think that I don't want to go back to this life. You know what I mean? Like, never once did it occur to me that what's really happening is maybe I don't want to be in this life. You know what I mean? Like, maybe I put myself into a trap that worked for my addiction. It didn't work for me, but it worked very well for my addiction. And for some reason, I don't know if it was brought up to me, or maybe somebody did. I'm thinking about it now. Maybe somebody did, but all I know is if I can just get back to work, get back to making them dollars, get back to, making the whatever partner I was with happy again and taking care of all that, everything else will take care of itself. I had nothing else to worry about, you know what I mean? So that's something to really think about if you're like in trying to figure out. And I see this, like, I don't know, I meant to address this last week because I see like people coming in all the time talking about I've been using cocaine for 3 weeks and I need to just stop. And every time I stop, and I'll stop for like 3 months, then I'll go back and use again. I'm like, you're basically asking us as addicts to tell you how to stop using a drug that you keep using every 3 weeks, and we're telling you you need to recover, and it's not making any sense because it's hard to see like what's really going on, that you need to make a change in your life. Now, back to the step. Don't rush back to work. So here it is. Point number 1. Well, one of the points I said is, don't stress yourself out. A lot of us are, if you're in like any type of position where you're getting paid a decent salary, you're probably like a little stressed because you like that, getting that money or something like that. One of my big ego issues, one of my issues that kept me on the rut, kept me going, was I like to make a certain amount of money, to live a certain lifestyle, no matter what. I love my job. It's stressful, but I don't want to kill myself. You understand what I'm saying? There's other things I want to do. So watch your stress level. But then here's the thing, too, though. What I was trying to say is, like, try to find. You might be in a job you don't actually like. You know what I'm saying? It might be in a job that's paying the money, that's giving you the lifestyle that you want, but it may be not the job that you love. You know what I mean? Because what I'm talking about, what everybody that's gonna be was talking to me about was about recovery or changing my life, not just quitting using drugs, which is all I can at the time. That's all I could think about doing, right? was quitting using drugs. Quitting drinking or quitting the use of a drug or a substance is not recovery, and it doesn't last. It doesn't last because it's never going to get to the real issue. You can do it for a little bit. A lot of people do it for a little bit, but then it'll pop up in some other way. You know what I mean? So if you could take some time, and it's gonna be important. It was important to me. Like I've had time off because, man, every time I try to get myself back on, it just blow up again. And the reason that it's blowing up again is not because, like some of the jobs that I've taken in my field, I just knew I wasn't going to be happy there. You know what I'm saying? And I took it because all I wanted to do was get back on, get some money, which is fine. My addiction loves money, but I don't necessarily love money. I love a job that's fulfilling, and I love a job that's gonna, propel me to the next level. So it just didn't make any sense for me to take a lot of the jobs that I did, and I got there and just didn't really care about being there. So taking your time, like this time, like I've been saying, I started a work job in a couple weeks. Hopefully with this coronavirus, everything hasn't been changed, but it's a job that I really set my attention on getting, and it's like in the area that I want, and it's in like, the field I want, with a company that I really want to work with, and it's actually at a level. This is the thing too. It's at a level I want to be at. It's not all the money that I think that I would need because I want to do other things, but it's at where I want to be so that I can take care of my recovery, which has to be first, right? That's the most important thing. If I don't have my recovery straight, nothing else will matter. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna be able to make any money. I'm not gonna be able to be happy because money's just a tool. It's not a measurement of my happiness. It never has been for me. It's just a tool in order for me to do what I need to do to survive and then thrive out here. But for some reason, it's like, in my head, because of my ego, it's been a measurement of my success, which it really doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter because I've never been able to actually keep it because of the addiction. So that is going to be it for now, today, this week. Please stay safe. I guess we'll know more about what's going on with coronavirus by now. Hopefully we are still here and not turning into zombies. I want to take a moment for the still suffering addict, as I always do. If you're having a problem with addiction, drinking, or anything like that, and you're unhappy, and you're just trying to figure out why, kind of think about recovery. Reach out to someone. You can reach out to me, or you can just go to intherooms.com. I recommend that site because it has online meetings that I attend once a day. I am in no way a big 12-stepper, but I do believe in the 12 steps that can work for you. If you have any questions about living with recovery or a subject you want to talk about on the show, just drop me a line at cpiercejr@gmail.com, and I will get back to you through email, or hopefully I will be able to bring it up on the next show. So, with that, always remember to love and respect yourself first, and everything else will take care of itself. Peace and namaste.